everybody, it's Cash Bandicoot here. I'm playing Crash Bandicoot 4. Welcome to the part 1 of my new video. So if you've seen on my channel, I've got some basic gameplay for the game, but I thought I might as well do a full walkthrough let's play. So I'm going to try and keep my videos fairly short, about half an hour on average, but if it goes over then that's fine. So without further ado, this is my channel, this is my video, and all rights go to Toys for Bob, Activision and Beanox for making this amazing game. So let's go to it. Initials. I think I'll go for CAS for Cash. Cash Bandicoot. I think I will go for Retro, because I like playing it old school like the old games. Rude Awakening. I have played the game before, so I have a little experience with it because it's rather difficult near the end, but I just thought I would do my own commentary over the game as I play. I will be doing other games as well, so enjoy.
Crash Bandicoot. At last, I, the great Neocortex, have you right where I want you. And
He's gonna get him.
Final blow.
He deals the death blow and it's a toy crash.
Hush, simpleton.
Uka, be mad. Be mad, boy.
Face it, Entropy. It's going to fail. Again.
At least Uka and I attempt to free us from this prison. I won't sit idly by and listen to your inane ramblings for another decade. You chew.
These two are always going to be bickering. Yeah. I have played the Insane trilogy as well. I was going to do a full let's play of that as well if this video does well. I will apologise for the bad mic audio. I'm rather poor at the minute, so this is a fairly cheapish mic, but it's more about the gameplay quality than anything else. Here he is. Aku Aku.
Power has awoken.
Crash, wake up.
I fear it portends an event of reality-shattering proportions.
That's literally me when someone tells me to get up in the morning. It's like, nope, I'm going back to bed.
Quickly, we must go.
Get up, Crash. 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 Yeah, no one likes being woken up in the morning. So, I'm not really going for a 100% run here. I'm just kind of going for a general run, you know, with general gameplay. If I do 100% a level, it's more just a coincidence. Hey, sombrero boy. Okay, I'm wearing that. Oh, there he is. Spyro. I do really hope that, because Toys for Bob and Beanox have done such a fantastic job with this game, that they actually do a Spyro 4 next. What do they call it? Like Spyro 4 took them long enough, or Spyro 4 the year of the... I don't know. What will Chinese New Year be this year? I'm not sure. Is it... I think it's Year of the Dog this year. I'm honestly not sure. I'm not very good with things like Chinese New Year. But yeah, the gameplay feels really good. If you've played the older Crash Bandicoot games, then the only thing I would say is it's a lot floatier comparatively. Like the original games were a lot heavier on Crash's actual jumping, but the new gameplay feels very floaty. Like Crash has a lot less weight to him, but for some of the jumps they expect you to pull off in this game, that's actually a good thing. He has mostly the same moveset from the end of Crash Warped. He's got the double jump, he's got the belly flop. The slide has been slightly nerfed actually. In the original you maintained momentum while you were jumping, but in this one you actually lose a bit of speed, which I personally don't like. But then it works in the premise of this game, so it's not like the end of the world. As you can see, there's a lot more boxes to collect this time around. Like, if you've played the original Crash games, then you know collecting boxes is a big part of the game. Probably not going to get all the boxes on this first run of the first level. I can just about remember where they all are, but they're all kind of hidden. Oh, here they are, the scary boys. Run, Crash, run! So this is one of the newer mechanics to Crash 4, the grinding. It reminds me a lot of games like Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive, if you've played that, because it was made by the same guys. But it's something that I can't believe wasn't in Crash until now, because it actually works really well, and there are some really good moments later on with sliding and platforming, especially the way they combined it all. Right? Because if you've played the older Crash games, like I said, then this is a very good game, but I would have to say that it's not very friendly to new players. There's the hidden gem. You know, if you've never played a Crash Bandicoot game before, this is not a good starting point. It's rather tricky, I slipped off the edge, comparatively to the older Crash games. You'd be much better off playing the Insane Trilogy first, especially because the Insane Trilogy currently is about $20 or about £15. Very much going to be, let's see. One thing I like is when you collect a hidden gem, it stays collected. So that actually makes it easier. For those who do wonder, because some people have a debate on what's the best way to play Crash, I personally alternate between the stick and the D-pad. It very much depends what kind of platforming I have to do. I find on the linear, like 2D sections, then using the D-pad is a lot easier. But for the more open areas, then I find that using the stick can be a lot easier. But that's just my opinion. As I said, the game is a lot more challenging than the older ones, but that's more because they've effectively built it in mind of people who've played the older games. So the challenge isn't absurd; it's just very difficult. Although I will admit, for 100% completion, you are going to have to do some pretty difficult stuff later on in the game, like collecting all the gems and. I think it's collect for 100%. I think it's collect all the gems, including colored gems and hidden gems, but also you need to collect all of the flashback tapes. So as you progress through the game, there are going to be these tapes that you can come across in levels, and to reach them, you basically have to reach them without dying. They're a lot like the death routes back in Crash Bandicoots 2 and 3. Where you had to reach a area of the level without dying, but instead of then taking a warp path, well, it's not really a warp, it was like a moving platform to a new part of the level which usually had a gem, they're more like their own little side levels, which are supposed to be kind of a prequel to the first game. And I have just messed that up. Yes, I have. Thankfully I got saved. No, I messed that up. Yeah, they're like these side levels which are kind of a prequel to the first game. It's back when Crash was a test subject for Cortex, before he had the Cortex Vortex used on him. So if you remember the start of the very first game, you've got Crash strapped down to a table and Cortex is about to evolve him almost into his general, but it rejects Crash and escapes. So I think that's really good. For those who are wondering, this game is a direct sequel to Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, so it takes place directly after, which is where you've got the same villains, you've got Entropy, you've got Dingodile, you've got Cortex, and it's just really good. Like, if they made this originally, it would have been really good. So one of the new mechanics of the game is, as you play the level, 100% that without really trying, but yeah, you unlock gems, and you get so many gems to unlock new skins and costumes for Crash and Coco. So that's really cool. And then you can play the levels on like different costumes. I really like that mechanic. I like that. It's kind of incentive to play the level again, which is really good. I actually think that the game is really well made, really well structured. The only issues that I would have with it are that there are some moments which, especially later on, require you to be a lot more precise, which is good if you like a challenge, but if you're like me, who's more of a casual Crash fan, like, I first played Crash Bandicoot 3, like that was my first Crash game back on my PS1, and then from there I went on to play the rest of the series. So when I play Crash, I don't really take it 100% seriously. I have gotten all the gems in the previous Crash games, but I never really worked towards time relics, especially in the Insane Trilogy. back on... I've got the Switch version, but back on that version, I just went through all the gems in the games like I used to. The only exception being for completing Crash Warped, there's a additional gem for collecting all the time relics, so that's worth it. As I said, this isn't a 100% guide, so this is more just me playing through the different levels, probably dying a lot, especially later on, because I'm not very good at the later levels. But I really love this game. I love the way that it's been made. I love the design. I don't know exactly how I feel about Crash's design. I really like Coco's design though. I really think they've really made her own unique character, which is something that I felt was very much missing from the N. trilogy when they announced that Coco was going to be playable. When they said that Coco was going to be playable, I was like, oh, are they going to give her like her own kind of cool design, or are they just going to use her Skylanders design? Because I don't know if you've played Skylanders. I played it back when it was like popular back in like 2012, and it was okay, but I wasn't really like a massive fan of like the second or third game. I played the second game as a kid, and I was like, yeah, okay, they're just kind of doing them once a year now. So the only reason I went back into the franchise later was when they announced that Crash was going to be coming back, and I was like, oh, well, if Crash is coming back, I'll play it, because I love a bit of Crash. Like, I grew up with Crash Bandicoot, and I've loved playing with his games and watching people play it. A very good channel to watch if you like Crash Bandicoot content would be Kid Icarus. So if you like that kind of content. Okay, so here's one thing that you need to keep an eye out for. In the levels, you can actually look around with the right stick, and there's things hidden away. One thing is right here, there's a hidden path that shows in the next room how to unlock the red gems. So if you look, it says start on the bottom left and then platform along. So we will do that now. So if we just follow the route, I'm not gonna worry about the TNT crate yet because I want to get the red gem first. Because I'm not like it's by no means a 100% guide. You know, I'm just kind of playing, which is what I used to do. I would try and get as many boxes as I could. Oh. Yeah, I've done that a few times. No, it's like it's not a 100% guide by any means. It's just me kind of playing, but I try and do the best I can, which is how I've always played these games. I've always just tried to get as many boxes and crates as I could. Oh, I need to be quick on that platform. Sorry, it's a little tricky trying to comment on my gameplay and play at the same time. I've never been very good at multitasking. It's why games that require you to communicate and game at the same time I've never been particularly good at. Like, I used to play a bit of Destiny with some friends. Oh! Okay, I need to shut up and concentrate. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you watch this. I used to play this game with my friend where you would have to take a shot every time you died, and we ended up getting rather drunk once. There we go. Don't know why I died so many times doing that. But, so this is one of the new masks. This is Lani Loli, I think. And so the story is very similar to Wrath of Cortex, where there are these new mystical masks, but unlike Wrath of Cortex, it's actually good. That's not to say I don't like Wrath of Cortex, but I'm definitely more of a fan of the older trilogy and games like Twin Sanity, which, if they're remastering Crash games, I would love a remaster of Twin Sanity, because it has one of my favourite soundtracks ever. Like, the acapella done is just brilliant. Like, Spiral Mouth did an amazing... I think it's Spiral Mouth. Shit. Get the gem! Run from the big thing. Yeah, one thing... Oh, that's one thing I've noticed, is that if you slide and spin, you can get a bit of distance between you and being chased. So that's a good thing to remember if you're ever in a chase sequence and you start fumbling. So I'm probably going to leave the video after this level, to be fair. Just, you know, because I don't want to go over my time too much. Because I'm not sure if my TS was set to 30 minutes or 15 minutes, so I need to check that. The next video I will make sure is set to 30 minutes, and then I'll do them in 30-minute intervals, or just do like 2 or 3 levels of video. Yeah, like I said, this is by no means a 100% guide video. This is more just me doing some straight up gameplay, of Crash 4 and, you know, show